Hey folks, welcome to GunSmoke Farmstead. Today we are working on a couple of different types of tea. This one I have right here is Chaga. Robin is going to be working on a different one, and we're excited to share these with you guys. If you don't know what chaga is, it is actually a mushroom that grows on birch trees in cold climates. It's packed with antioxidants. It helps lower blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar. It helps fight cancer, prevent cancer, and there's a whole bunch of other benefits to it. So it's really good for you. I'm just going to kind of walk you through how to harvest it and how to process it from here. So I cut this off of the tree with my chainsaw about a month ago. So there's still some hard wood in here. So we're going to have to get the actual mushroom itself off of the hardwood. And for that, I'm just going to use a sharp knife. You might want to make sure you use a little bit beefier knife. This is actually a hunting knife rather than just a kitchen knife. So a lot of people actually will use an axe or hatchet. Doing it that way, you're going to get stuff blowing all over the place. With a knife, you can control it a little bit more. So let's go ahead and try to get some pieces off of here. Make sure you don't get your hand under the blade. And I'm just going to kind of pry these off and grind them off. Using the knife is a little bit slower process, but you have a little bit more control over the mess, I believe. So we're just going to work on this a little bit here. Some of the bigger chunks are easier to get off, some are not. Ooh, that's a good chunk. So, like I said, I cut this off about a month ago, so it's been drying for about a month. Some of these spots inside here are still a little bit moist, so we're probably going to have to let the chunks dry a little bit. I processed a smaller chunk that was thinner earlier, and I have that simmering on the stove, and we will kind of show you that process as well. So there's a couple of different ways you can do it. You can use 5 or 6 chunks like this with about a half a gallon to a gallon of water and boil that on the stove, simmer it for anywhere between 1 and 6 hours, 6 to 8 hours. The longer you boil it, the darker it's going to get, the more benefits you're going to get out of it. And you can actually reuse these bigger chunks 2 or 3 times. So that's one way to do it. The other way is to take all these chunks and actually grind them up, which I will show you guys real quick. So we have a few chunks here that I took off the big hunk of it, and there's a couple of different ways that you can smash it up a little bit better. Right here we have just a cheap $20 coffee grinder, or we got the big heavy duty mortar and pestle. So whatever you have handy, you can even wrap it in a towel and smash it with a hammer. We're going to go ahead and use the coffee grinder. Just put a handful of chunks in there. So, looks like there's a few chunks left over, but this looks more like wood than the tea. But you can see we're left with a nice fine powder, and you can use that just like any tea. You can put it in whatever them tea things are called. So, there you go. There's some powder. Use like a teaspoon to a tablespoon in a cup of hot water and let it steep for about 10 minutes. A lot of people mix it with maple syrup or honey or a little bit of sugar so it sweetens up a little bit. I think I am going to mix it with my coffee, so we'll see. Alright, so I've had some larger chunks boiling for about an hour and a half now, so we're going to go ahead and strain these out. Try not to make a huge mess. Like that. You can see that nice dark rich color. So here's what it looks like afterwards. We're going to go ahead and let this dry out again so we can boil it again. Like I said, I only boiled it for about an hour and a half, so we should be able to get another one or two uses out of this to make about this much tea again. When you're boiling it, it actually has a pleasant, almost cinnamon smell to it. Wipe this up here real quick. So there you go. We'll actually store this in the fridge, and anytime we want some, we can heat it up. We can mix it with our coffee. So there we go. There is one instance of Chaga tea.
Hey everyone, I'm going to show you another type of tea using something super common that everybody has in their kitchen, bananas. You can use just the banana peels to make the tea, or you can use the fruit and the peel. It's totally up to you. I end up just using the peels because our boys eat bananas like crazy. So I have a couple of banana peels here from this morning. We always use the organic bananas if we're going to make the banana peel tea out of them. I don't recommend store-bought non-organic if you're going to be making tea out of them. When you're getting ready to make the tea, you can just go ahead and wash the peels. I actually have them just kind of soaking in a little bit of hot water right now, and I'm going to rinse them quickly. And I'm just left with these two banana peels. They look like they're browning quite a bit, but that's because they were eaten this morning by our kids, and it's getting to be late afternoon, and they've been rinsed in some hot water. So after they've been rinsed, you can just go ahead and chop off the ends. You can cut them into small sections, or you can leave the peels whole. It's up to you. I'm gonna just chop the ends off of these and chuck those right into the compost. And then I'm going to take the peels and get them ready to put into the pot of water for tea. So here are my banana peels that I'm going to boil. You'll want to do 3 cups of water in a pot and just bring that to a boil. While I'm waiting for my water to boil, I'll just cover a couple of the benefits of using banana peels to make tea. As you probably all know, bananas are really high in magnesium and potassium, as well as a bunch of other vitamins and minerals. They're loaded with antioxidants, and they have tryptophan in them, which helps with mood boosting and bringing up serotonin levels. So they're great for a whole host of reasons. General immune booster with all of the vitamins, minerals, antioxidants. They also help improve quality of sleep at night, and they can help with digestive issues. So they're great for stomach issues if you're prone to those. Once the tea cools, if it's not something that you care to drink, or if you have extra, it's also really great to add it into your plants. All of those vitamins, minerals, they all have the same great benefits for fertilizing plants. So keep it around for your garden if you're not throwing banana peels into your compost. Once we're done with the tea, I will actually just take the banana peels, let them cool, and add them right into our compost and let the worms have at it. There are actually a couple of different methods for making the banana peel tea. If you wanted something that was a ground up tea, you could make them slightly differently than how I'm going to show you. You could also take the banana peels, bake them in your oven for 15 minutes at 350 degrees, and then once you take them out and let them cool, they're just these charred, crispy pieces of the banana peel. And just like with the chaga tea, you can add it into a grinder and grind them up and store them in a mason jar or whatever, and then you can add them into tea bags, or into, if you've got the little tea strainers, you can add them into the tea strainers as well and make cups of tea out of them. The benefits are amazing either way that you make it. I really like it just before I go to sleep at night. It helps calm my mind, it helps me sleep better through the night, helps me fall asleep faster, and it actually helps if you have if you're prone to leg cramps or anything. Okay, so my water is just now starting to come to a rolling boil, so I'm going to add my banana peels right directly into the water, and I'm just going to let them boil for about 10 minutes. I'll let them boil for just a minute or two on this rolling boil, and then I'll turn the burner down to about medium and let them boil like that for about 10 minutes. I'm going to add my cinnamon in right now. I just do a dash of it in there and let it boil in with the banana peels. The banana peels, when they're cooking, smell kind of sweet. They smell kind of good. And then with the cinnamon added in, it smells really good. You can add other stuff in as well if you prefer to have different flavors added to it. I added some citrus to mine a couple times, and the flavor is really good. I wouldn't recommend adding citrus peels, again, unless they're organic or if you grew them yourself. Zoom. Get some bread for Matt. Thank you. All right, so after it has boiled for about 10 minutes, you can go ahead and take it off of the heat, and I'm just gonna pour it through this strainer. You can see it's much darker in color, partly due to the cinnamon, but it does actually get pretty dark in color when it's just the banana peels as well. So once you have it strained through there, you can add honey to it if you want. You can add a little more cinnamon if it's not sweet enough, or whatever kind of sweetener you like. I like to add a little bit of honey to it, and it's kind of sweet tasting, and the cinnamon just complements it really well. There you go. That's how I make banana peel tea. And then I just take the banana peels that are left, and once they're cooled, I throw them right into the compost. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy our videos, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Cheers.
So
Partly due to the cinnamon. Oh, there goes the peel.